Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater.
Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater.
Ignoring all you know about pigs and where they live and what they step in, you look at their pickled paws and say, yummy.
Looking tasty.
Craving only the most daring meal, you pass up the cow tongue, skate by the head cheese, dismiss the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
But a pig's foot soaked in pickle juice, now that's good eating.
Say real big one.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater, because it takes guts to eat those feet.
Thank you, Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Professional Movie Extra Guy.
Mr. Professional Movie Extra Guy.
Never in the history of cinema have so many done so little for so many.
You're a star.
Anybody can pay $8 to see a movie, but only a true artist can be paid $8 to be in a movie.
Shiny, shiny star.
Snotty lead actors need lines, direction, motivation. Not you. You sit on your butt perfectly in scene after scene.
That's Hollywood.
A true pro, you're always focused, even if you're seldom in focus. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Nobody, because you're not just anybody, you're a paid anybody.
I don't recognize
Bud
you.
Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Through the magic of AstroTurf and animatronics, you've taken the time-honored game of golf and made it fun again.
Keep on stroking.
They said a 3-foot putt wasn't a challenge, so you added windmills.
China windmills.
While lesser men wasted time with fairways and sand traps, you had visions of fiberglass volcanoes and giant clown heads.
Clowns freak me out now.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer, because you and I know that a round of golf should always include Indian teepees.
Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
More than any neon sign or exploding scoreboard ever could, your chrome dome cover says, "Hey guys, look at me."
What could you be thinking?
You think it looks natural, but it couldn't look phonier if it had a chin strap.
A cotton full of blind men.
Made of space-age fibers, it can repel anything. Rain, wind, snow, and especially young women.
I don't think so.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Stud in a Rug. Then crack open another for that thing on your head.
I don't think it's all straight.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Supermarket Deli Meat Slicer.
Mr. Supermarket Deli Meat Slicer.
To feed America's hunger, you stand dangerously close to a buzzsaw, armed only with a salami.
Just you and your salami.
Behind your glass fortress, you quickly fill orders as shoppers shout, "Hey, I was first."
Take a number, please.
And no matter what you're slicing, from bologna to liverwurst, you always hit your mark. 1/10 of an ounce over.
Just the way I like it.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh master slicer. And remember, when someone asks who cut the cheese, you can proudly say, it was me.
Mr. Supermarket Delegate Slicer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Underwear Inspector number 12.
Mr. Underwear Inspector number 12.
Whether it be tidy whities or banana hammocks, you're the one who makes sure our skivvies cut the mustard.
Riding high.
You make sure the door is fastened with secure seams so that the cow doesn't get out of the barn when it shouldn't.
Don't let it out.
Dedicating yourself to a craft others might poo-poo, you can pass every single man on the street and say with pride, you there, you're wearing my underpants.
Oh, yeah.
And no, I don't want them back. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Eagle Eyes, because we're all glad you've got your hands in our shorts.
Change 'em every day.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
You do what lesser men can only dream about. You smash great big things into little bitty pieces.
Totally awesome.
42 stories of brick, mortar, and iron? No problem. You'll have it down by lunch.
Bring it all down.
Some might say your job is easy, but never to your face. Why? 'Cause you'll come up swinging a 2,000-pound ball. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Wrecking Man, because anybody can build a building, but it takes a man with one giant ball to bring it down.
Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really, Really, Really Bad Dancer.
Mr. Really, really, really bad dancer.
Arms swinging, knees bending, head bobbing, to no particular rhythm. You're either dancing or having a seizure.
Call me a doctor.
As soon as you hit the dance floor, the taunts begin. Is that all you got, playa? Unfortunately, yes, that's all you got.
Pour it on now.
Who's in the house? Some guy who can't dance. That's who's in the house.
You're a star.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Happy Feet, because you really put the oogie in boogie.
Mr. Really, really, really bad dancer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Movie Theater Ticket Ripper-Upper,
Mr. Movie Theater Ticket Ripper-Upper.
truly the long arm of the law at the movie theater. You and a velvet rope are all that keep the huddled masses from a free flick.
You're the man now.
Ever vigilant, you boldly demand to see our stub. Getting a little personal, don't you think?
Can I see your stuff?
Who's the guy in the military-style uniform that would make any third-world dictator proud? Mr. Movie Theater Ticket Ripper-Upper. That's who.
Salute the general.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Stub Master, because you really tear it up.
Mr. Movie Theater Ticket Ripper-Upper.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Slick back hair, a sharkskin suit, alligator boots. You cultivate a look that oozes trust me.
I think that I can trust you.
You stand behind every car you sell, because if you stood in front and the brakes failed, you'd be crushed.
You better watch out now.
Oil leak? What oil leak? That puddle under the car is just sweat from all that horsepower.
Let the horses out now.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Peddler of the sheet metal, because when life hands you lemons, you sell them.
Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins,